This video is brought to you by Patreon provider Sparks. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I can thanks to Patreon provider Sparks for sending this in for a review. You already know what it is from the title, so I'm going to cut the chit chat and get right down to business and unboxing this PST Gen 2 3 to 15 by 44 FFP EBR-2C MRAD Reticled beauty. So far the box is pretty typical Vortex. Notice how they have foam both front and rear of the optic. Everything's laid out beautifully. There's very little wiggle. Caps are jiggling around in there a little bit, but this has already been reorganized slightly. Sunshade all the way into the front, but in the middle is the meat and potatoes of this box. Ooh, yeah. No, this does not come with rings installed. Sparks was nice enough to send me this as he had it on his rifle. Do not mess around and screw up the scope by over-torquing your rings. Comes with an Allen key for all your adjusting needs, and it comes with two booklets. One for the reticle, one for the actual scope. The scope booklet's going to be filled with all your basic knowledge that you're going to need for how to operate it, which is pretty standard amongst all of the ranges. However, unlike some, they actually include the proper picture for this scope. This is a far more useful booklet in my opinion. Shows you exactly what the reticle is not only going to look like, but how it's going to function, how to properly use it. That is the one that we have currently. And congratulations to Jim Draper, I believe it is, on YouTube for guessing the correct scope. The flip-up caps are nice, but they're still in the sealed bag. I'm not going to be pulling those out, but those are typical Vortex caps, which are typically very nice, especially considering they come with it. I'm still blown away by the first time I ever looked through a Gen 2 PST. It was a 5 to 25 about a year and a half or so ago, and I have to say it was incredibly nice. Then, when Patreon provider Cole had said, hey listen, I just got a 1 to 6 PST Gen 2, would you like to review it? I was ecstatic. And for good reason too, because the Gen 2 PSTs are fantastic. They're a beautiful middle ground between Vortex's budget line and their top tier Razor HD. Now, there's a huge price gap between everything, where the PST fits right dab in the middle. And I think it punches above its weight class. I said the same thing about the 1 to 6 PST Gen 2, that it's about half the price of the Razor HD, but it's closer to 5/8 to 3/4 the performance of the Razor HD. Now, not really having much range time behind a Razor HD 3 to 18 or 4.5 to 27, however, we're still going to take a look at the scope subjectively, seeing it for what it is, and if it's any good. Starting off at the back, you see we have a quick focus eyepiece, and it spins nice and smooth, maxing out the back range on that, and there is a slight gap in there. Good amount of resistance on that, and very little wiggle, which I like. These should be really tight. Honestly, these should be locking, because once you set it for your eye, you should never have to really adjust it. Now, if you have multiple people shooting the same gun, then you want it to be quick adjustable, but how often does that really happen? This being a 3 to 15 model, we obviously have a minimum of 3 magnification, which lines up pretty good, and we go maximum to 15. Now that is a pretty far sweep. As you can see, a little bit over 180 degrees. Now, the one thing I don't like about most Vortex optics are, there is no throw lever built in. You have to buy them separately. Now, on a $200 optic, okay, but on a $700-800 optic, it should come with something. Because this is a very slick body. Yes, there are grooves on it, but they're very rounded and they're very smooth. It takes a lot to try to turn this thing. And the magnification ring itself is pretty harshly damped. It takes a lot of effort to try to turn this thing. Granted, the scope is fairly new, but still, you can tell this is going to take a while for it to break in. However, it is very smooth, and there are no hang-ups on it, which is very nice. But you're definitely going to need a throw lever on this, especially if you're going to be doing any sort of competition style shooting where you're going from, oh no, I need to have maximum situational awareness to, I need to take a very precise shot at distance. Get yourself a throw lever. From there, we're going to check out the Illumination ring. As you can see, we have 10 settings with offs in between each one. Now, this is very hard to turn. This is taking a lot of force to try to get this thing to rotate from one to another. But again, I'm sure this will break in over time. However, Unlike the magnification ring, the illumination ring on this has very sharp edges on it, so it gives you a much better purchase. Oh wow, that's tough. And you know what? If you had this on the side of the gun, if you had it this pretty close to your receiver, it's going to be tough to try to get in there at an angle that's going to allow you to rotate that easily. Right next to it, we have the parallax adjustment. Goes from infinity all the way down to 20. I'm going to assume 20 meters, considering this is an MRAD scope. But at that point, it could be 20 yards or 20 meters. It's only about a 10% difference. As you can see, there's a 270-degree throw, which I don't mind with the parallax, primarily because the more rotational distance you have on your parallax, the more finite an adjustment you can make to get your target in perfect focus. Very good amount of resistance on this. It is definitely not too tight, and it's very smooth, so I would call that a win. Moving to the turrets, the elevation turret and the windage turret both have 10 mils of rotation per turn. As you can see, it lines up pretty close. A little bit of wiggle in between. That spins beautifully. The clicks are very sharp and very tactile. You feel it right through the knob. And I'm sure if you had a good cheek weld on your rifle and you're adjusting this, you would feel it through your cheekbone. There is just the perfect amount of resistance on this turret. If you had any more, if you're behind your gun and you have it on a bipod in a rear bag and you go to turn it with too much resistance, you're going to start throwing your point of aim off. This is almost perfect, I would say. What would I like to see different about this to make it perfect? Well, I always feel there's room for improvement on everything. So I'll leave it at that. This is close to perfect. As you can see, the windage doesn't line up as good, but let's see if we can remove this cap and get it perfect. 3 little set screws. Loosen up. You can remove the turret. Big beefy bronze internals. Double O-ring. O-ring on top. O-ring on the outside to seal it. 3x MRAD, so I'm assuming there's 3 full mils of rotation on this. So from 0, it'll be 1.5 and 1.5, which honestly is more than enough for anything you're going to need. Plus, if you were to run out for some reason, like if you're shooting a 22 LR at 300 yards and 40 mile an hour winds, you could definitely hold over with the reticle itself. Cap is beautifully machined, and there's a ton of grease in there. That definitely explains why this cap came off as easily as it did. And as you can see, because this is all round on top and round on the inside, you can really fine-tune this to get this as close to perfect as you can. Now, the nice thing about having a set screw in line with your 0 is you can hopefully, let's see if I can do this. You can hopefully line it up like so. Of lining it 0.5 mil back and tightening it. You can see we're pretty damn close. Pretty damn good. Just like the elevation turret, basically perfect. While we're here, let's take a look at the reticle. So this scope being MRAD, first focal plane 3 to 15, when you're at minimum magnification, you are going to note that the reticle gets extremely small. This is the case with most first focal plane scopes that go down to a very low minimum magnification. As we zoom in, however, and thankfully, the reticle will get to a much larger and more readable scale. And the nice thing about first focal plane scopes is the detents will always mean the same, whether you're at 3x or 15x or anywhere in between. So there's a lot less guesswork around trying to figure out where you're supposed to hold over at different distances. The parallax adjustment on this, as you can see, is excellent. Illumination on this scope, I would definitely say, is daytime bright. I'm sure at night it will be way too bright to use, so for me, the illumination is plenty strong enough. I'm going to have to say this right now, I have very high hopes for this scope, primarily because of the 1 to 6 that Cole had sent in a couple of months ago. Vortex really does a great job with their entire lineup, and I really think this is the sweet spot in their lineup. These are very popular optics on a lot of long-range precision rifles. You see them all over the internet, all sorts of competitions, and I can definitely see why. And hopefully you can too. A huge thank you to Patreon provider Sparks for sending this in for review. If you would remember, he also sent another optic in, Coincidentally, it was also a competitor to this, the Nightforce SVH 4-14x50. Now, he had bought both of these to see which one would come out on top, and he was nice enough to send both of these in to see what my opinion was on both of them as well. So I am very curious to see which one of these I prefer. Keep in mind, this is around $1,000. This is around $6 or $7, realistically speaking. So I foresee a versus video coming up in the future. Again, a huge thank you to Patreon provider Sparks for sending this in for review. It's thanks to people like him that make this channel as populated as it is. So thank you very much. And thank you all very much for watching. See you again next time. And a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible.